What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I'm back on the 701. I actually haven't ridden this in quite a while, simply because if you watched the last video you would know that I've got a new bike. Bit of a reason, go and check that video out at the end of this one. It'll probably make more sense. So if you've been with the channel for a while, you'd know that I've had this bike for about a year now, and it's not perfect. It is a great bike, but this video we're going to go through and discuss all the good stuff about it, and then of course some of the bad stuff, because there is some. It's not all good news, but it's mostly good news. So the first good thing is, obviously this thing is super easy to wheelie. If you're looking to learn how to do wheelies, we'll discuss some of the bad stuff later, but it obviously is amazing at wheelies and that sort of stuff. So if you want to have some fun, that's what this bike is made for. It's just fun. It's about all it's good at. So if you're after something that's fun, absolutely great bike. Can't recommend it enough. It just puts a smile on my face every time I ride it. It obviously makes good power. Mine is tuned and has some mods, but even without it, plenty of power. Do a bit of a de-restrict on it, get rid of that dirty old exhaust, and you'll have plenty of fun on it. If you're looking for a bike for track days, amazing. As long as it's not a really high-speed track, because there's no steering dampener. Yes, you can add it, but in my opinion it shouldn't have it. It's just a fun bike to muck around on, slide it around the track. So as long as you're not sort of hitting sort of 160, 170 kilometers per hour, it's perfectly fine without it. Now, a lot of people assume that this is just a dirt bike with some road wheels, and I guess it does look that way, but it's not. Yes, you could definitely cut through a park, bit of grass, but as the previous owner found out, it's definitely not made for off-road. This thing isn't light like a dirt bike. It's lighter than a sports bike, but it's still not this super nimble thing like a 250 or 450cc bike. So no, it's not a dirt bike. It just kind of looks like one. There is an enduro version of this. It's not just different tires, it's different gearing, I believe slightly different geometry and a few other things as well. So if you do want to go off-road, don't buy this. So I do have a lot of people ask me about reliability and issues I've had with the bike. Now, this has got just shy of 22,000 kilometers on it, and I haven't had a problem. I do believe that the cam lobe has some wear on it, but it's been like that since I've had it. And I'm going to be honest, I ride this quite a bit harder than the previous owner. So when it comes to reliability, I don't think there's an issue with it. I do have a spare engine, kind of. I've got a 690 engine, so I have been absolutely abusing this thing. Number one, kind of expecting it to break, and it just hasn't. So if you're concerned about that, I've seen people with 40, 50, 60,000 kilometers on these things without having to pull the motor apart. So I don't think that's a concern that anyone needs to worry about. Now, when it comes to maintenance, there are a couple of quirks. It's not impossible and it's not hard to deal with, but just strange things like 2 different oil filters. I don't know why, but it's a very European thing. Every Euro bike that I've ever owned has had 2 different oil filters. I don't know, I don't get it, but it is a thing, and just be aware of it. Other than that, it's not really a major concern. Now, when it comes to modifying this bike, here in Australia is a little bit tricky, but if you're in Europe you won't have an issue. If you're in the States, you're probably not going to have an issue. I did find trying to get parts for this thing, you've got to get everything from the States or Europe, and it's just a little bit pricey, especially now with the tariffs. And the mods that I feel this bike needed were things like the quick shift, which isn't that bad. It is definitely the best mod I've done on this bike. And the other thing I felt it needed was the Kumpan dash that you can see there. Now, the main reason for that is simply because when I do a track day, I need to know what gear I'm in. I've come from sports bikes that rev, and I'm just not used to having to pick gears constantly, so that's something I definitely needed. It's also a good bit of safety. It's got oil pressure and temp and all the things, and shift light, stuff like that. So I don't think it's a bad thing to have, and it was not super expensive. As for the quick shift, if you've ridden one of these, you'll know that the shifter is quite clunky, and it just needed it. I was missing gears all over the place, so I think every bike should come with those things anyway. And if you are looking at a brand new, the 2026 model actually comes with a crazy amount of telemetry on the dash already. It does come with, I think, wheelie control and launch and all the safety stuff that I'm not super interested in, but you definitely have more on the dash to start with. And I believe for the last quite a few years they've come with a quick shifter as well, so if you're looking at a new model, those two mods, you're not needed anyway. And even the factory tyres that come on this bike aren't too bad. However, I do have the Road 5s on this thing at the moment, and especially if you're doing track days, definitely a better tyre in my opinion than the original. So like I said, there are a couple of downsides to this bike from factory, and it's not the end of the world, it's just little stuff. If you do plan on using this bike for longer rides, the seat is horrible. I've left it on here on purpose because I wanted to know what it's like after a year. There are upgrades. There is an upgrade that's about $800. I don't think the seat's bad enough to justify spending $800 on a seat, simply because I don't ride this bike super long distances. I'm not touring, I'm not trying to do that sort of stuff. So if you're doing rides all the time or every day or commuting, yeah, you'd probably justify popping a new seat on this thing and getting a bit more comfort. And the other thing, which is probably the scariest thing in my mind, is, like I said, this bike does wheelies really, really well. It's great at it. You can definitely have fun on the thing. However, if you're learning how to do wheelies, like myself, keep in mind that if you flip this thing backwards, the first thing to hit the ground is pretty much your fuel tank, because the subframe underneath the seat at the back is the fuel tank, which not only is going to be a very expensive repair if you split that thing, you're also not riding home. So it's going to be a very expensive little wheelie. Maybe not the correct bike to learn how to do wheelies on. However, the power kind of makes it easy to do wheelies, so it's kind of up to you there if you're willing to risk it. It scares the absolute crap out of me thinking that every time. So yes, you can turn off the ABS. You hold down this little triangle thing here for a few seconds and all the stuff goes away, and then it's party time. So as I mentioned in the last video, I picked up a new bike, and if you guys want to help contribute to the channel, click on that link below. From as little as $1.49 you can help support the channel, and check out the website. Grab some merch, grab some amazing coffee roasted by myself. That's enough ads, let's get back to the video. Now I think the most important thing to keep in mind about this bike and supermotos in general is that they're fun, which is great, but it's kind of all they're good at. They're just a fun bike. If you want to do some touring, if you want to go for a ride with friends who are on sports bikes or tour bikes, whatever it is, it's not going to be fun for everyone. Because I'm on this being a pest and they're just trying to ride, or they're trying to go fast, which this isn't great at. So unless all of your friends are on supermotos, not the right bike to be on. The easiest way to put it is it's just not an all-rounder. It's just fun and that's it. So if you're doing track days, hoon rides, wheelies, all that sort of stuff, absolutely fantastic bike. But most people don't have a supermoto, which means, the long story short, is this is not an everyday bike. This is a bike for occasional, which typically means it's a great second bike. Hence why I bought another bike. I need something I can go for a ride with my dad. I need something I can go for a ride with my friends who aren't on supermotos, which is a very expensive hobby. It's a very expensive toy, but realistically, for the amount of joy this thing gives me, it's actually fairly cheap. You can pick these up for around $10,000 here in Australia, and I think that is definitely worth it for the amount of smiles it gives you. So if you're looking for one bike and one bike only, this is probably not it. So that wraps up my review of owning a Husky 701 for 1 year. Do I regret it? Absolutely not. Before you go, make sure you click that subscribe button. Go and check out last week's video where I pick up my new bike, which is something very different to this one. And we'll see you again soon, guys. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.